Meeting of the Sherman County Board of Commissioners come to order, please. First up on the agenda is the public comment. Mic is open. I was met with Ron Harding caught me at the Schooler Grain open house and wanted to thank the people of the landfill. He said they're doing a great job keeping it clean and very kind to him to work with. So kudos to the gentleman at the landfill. And then I've had a couple of calls from people asking about striping on Highway 24 from Goodland to Canarado, and we're waiting for the company to come and put stripes on it. So, because it is a little difficult to see when it's dark nights still. And the second mowing is going on now.
All right, I've always got a question for you guys. Can you educate me on, there are a couple meetings ago, you guys changed the mill levy, right? Raise the mill levy?
Well, we approved the budget and the mill, so the mill levy goes according to how many million are in the budget. So it was like 7.3 mils and now it's 7.5. Well, that we have $7.5 million worth of money to work with for the budget for next year. And that's what and if you're asking about the NRP also, the neutral revenue rate.
Right, yes.
Okay.
That's it.
You might have to help me, Brett. Oh, thanks a lot for throwing you under the bus, huh?
Anytime the county is gonna exceed the revenue neutral rate, they have to have a hearing. So if your budget stayed exactly the same, then you wouldn't have to exceed that revenue neutral rate. It was, and actually correct me if I'm wrong, the revenue neutral rate was a replacement for the tax levy, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ready to approve the minutes from our last meeting on the 9th and the special meeting?
Yes.
I'll let you guys do the minutes from the 9th since I was absent.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the minutes from September 9th as written.
Well, the minutes from September 19th, you know, I'm pretty sure Zuckerberg doesn't work for the county, and I'm pretty sure this isn't Facebook. So there's a lot of fill in the blanks here, and I would like to make a motion to go back to the recording and fill in the blanks, put in a little more substance to these minutes, and submit them for our next meeting for approval.
Okay.
Okay. So Steve, I went ahead and made a motion for minutes for
Excuse
September
me, I
9th.
was trying to.
Okay.
Been moved and seconded, we approve the 18th minutes, but come back and review the minutes for the 19th and have them at the next regular meeting.
Yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed. We have approval of two sets of bills. One for $64,705.31. That is mostly the Blue Cross Blue Shield. And then our vouchers for the end of the month, for the end of the month, $494,259.82. And some of that, remember, is final disbursement of distributions. So,
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
I will second.
been moved and seconded, we pay the bills. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have a fairground lease, I assume that's with the Tech College for the haunted house. Did I cover up that pile? This is October 28th through November 2nd. For space out at the fairgrounds from 17:30 to 21:30, the nights of November 1st and 2nd.
I'll make a motion to approve that lease.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded, we approve the lease with the college. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion is passed. You have fire board minutes?
Yeah, I'm looking at them now.
fire board minutes that needs our approval. We have a bill here from Northwest Kansas District 3 Fair Board, wanting reimbursed for horse arena lighting, replacement of outside counters at the Kiwanis Shack, and replacement of the ceiling into the grandstands for a total amount of $1,731.89.
I would make a motion for approval of the reimbursement to the fairgrounds.
Second that.
Been moved and seconded. We approve the reimbursement to the fair board for repairs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed. I think that's all the correspondence we have. EDC staff not here yet.
They're waiting on some people to arrive for the 8:15.
Okay.
I'm Rose Congy today, so if you want to switch, we can do that.
Your Rose today? Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
come on up, Rose.
She had some stuff come up and I was supporting someone to represent. I told her I'd do it for her. But Kansas for Life is basically a nonprofit agency organization that is dedicated to promoting and defending the rights of all lives, all human, from the moment of conception to natural death. And it's interesting that everybody thinks about pro-life when they say Kansas for Life, and it's just part of it. We strive for the protection of the preborn of their mothers, but also for the medically frail and also the elderly. It's all about life, how precious it is. What they're asking is the Sherman County Commission to agree to have the first Sunday in October to be declared as Sherman County Kansas for Life Sunday. You would like to do that. I'd really appreciate it for them. They do quite a bit. Their main organization is about bringing awareness and understanding. If you ever want information about pro-life, about euthanasia, about everything, Kansas for Life has become the go-to place. So you guys be willing to do a declaration?
Well, I would make a motion to make this declaration. First Sunday of October, known as Kansas for Life Sunday.
I will second that.
Been moved and seconded. We have first Sunday in October for the pro-life. Resolution would be 24 what?
It's quite a vital thing, and right now, today's world is important. We bring awareness to what's going on, because euthanasia is one of the most growing problems in the nation right now. The value of life has been diminished so much.
24-10.
24
10.
okay. So moved and seconded, resolution 24-10. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yep, we're ready.
Okay.
Good morning.
More.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
I think we're good.
Good, all right. So I just wanted to give a quick little report. Flatlanders is over. It was a great success this weekend. Thank you guys for taking care of the meal and the volunteers who helped on Friday and being there to support us. And so we had a lot of people in town, so it was really exciting to see all of that. But this morning, I'm just here to introduce our new Director of Economic Development, Bert Mosier. So he comes to us from California, but is from Northwest Kansas originally. So we'll be tag teaming economic development for a little bit together, get him into the community so people know who he is, and then he'll be kind of taking it on from there. So I'll let Bert kind of just talk and introduce himself.
Well, as Jaleesa told you, I'm originally from Northwest Kansas. I grew up in Hoxie. I used to be the Sherman County Economic Development Director. Excuse me. I am the former Osage County Economic Development Director and was in California for around 21 years running a Chamber of Commerce and a Visitors Bureau there. So, and I have family here in Goodland now, so I'm here to see what I can do to help you.
Sounds good.
Very good.
When were you in Hoxie?
2003 or 4, something like that, yeah. Yeah, I started their program up again after it had been dumped for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now Carl Pratt's running that program.
Good. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hit the trail running.
Yep. Brought him in a really busy month, so now can only
Yeah,
go
but
from there.
I'm already working with a business who wants to relocate within the county, so that's a good thing, and we'll see what we can do to help Goodland out.
Okay.
Good to
And
hear.
Sherman County. Have to get that part in there because we have Canarado to worry about too.
That's right. Yep, that's true. Well, good deal. Glad to hear it.
Welcome.
We've had a few questions about the tire recycling plant and where that's at.
Yeah, so things are still moving forward. We're working with Department of Commerce on several things. So they're just tying up those loose ends. They're working with all of the entities for permits, things like that. But it is still moving forward. We're hoping to get some more updates here in the next couple weeks. So
How about the meat plant over in Canarado?
So I know that I talked with Bill a couple weeks ago, and they did get the MPET grant from the USDA, so they were working on getting that stuff all finalized. I know there's a few details we have to work out, and they're reaching out to Department of Commerce and working through some things with them, because with it being a new time frame, they have some new incentives and stuff from the state that they can probably qualify for. So they're kind of working those pieces out. We're kind of here just locally waiting to hear how we move forward in that piece. So things are still moving forward and looking good, but it just takes a little time when you're working with all the different entities. I know, was it 2 Wednesdays ago, the 18th, Schooler did their ribbon cutting, so that was exciting to get that rolling. I know we're moving forward on that EDX process that we had approved back, I believe it was in July.
Yes.
And so they'll be moving forward on that piece, and that'll be coming to us from Gilmore and Bell here, hopefully within the next few weeks. So we'll be back in here with Dominic to kind of do that next piece on that, so.
Okay. Good.
All right, that's all I have.
That's good.
All
That
right.
progress moving is sometimes very slow, but if it's moving forward, that's the important part.
Right. Good things are worth the wait.
You bet.
Yes.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys. Have a
Thank
good
you.
morning.
All right,
Nice to meet
thank you.
Miss Cynthia, we're ahead of schedule, but
JJ got my windshield fixed in a hurry, so. Thank you for having me this morning. I am here, first of all, for the record, I'm going to be critical of the United States Postal Service. And I would like the record to reflect that in no way am I impugning our local post offices and our local employees. The problems with the Postal Service are way above them, and they have to follow guidelines that put them into awkward situations. So please understand this is not critical of them. In February is when this first came to my attention. I mailed a birthday card to my grandson, who's 9. And, you know, grandma sends a check and you've been told what you want for your birthday, and grandma says, okay, I'm sending you the money to go buy it. Well, 26 days later, I have an upset grandchild because,
Grandma didn't send any money.
well, grandma hasn't come yet. Well, now grandma's upset because where is it? And I went to the post office to ask, and they said they'd been having a lot of problems with the mail. And they were having mail show up 3 and 4 weeks late, coming in and going out. So then I started paying attention in the news articles, and I subscribed to a fairly wide selection of newspapers for my sources. I don't just do the internet. And this one this was an article written on September 9th by Scott Schwab, who is the Secretary of State and head director of elections in the state of Kansas. And he sent a letter to Postmaster DeJoy, head of the USPS, and it was a concern and questions about the fact that in the primary election, 2% of the population that voted, approximately 1,000 ballots, were not able to be counted because they weren't delivered properly to the county's election boards to be counted. Some of them weren't postmarked properly, and some of them did not get there within the 3 days grace period that Kansas allows. I put a copy of the letter in your box last week. Following that, there was an article this past 2 weeks ago that the National Association of State Election Directors and the National Associations of Secretary of States raised similar concerns with Mr. DeJoy about the potential for ballots not being delivered properly to the election officers and thus disenfranchising voters.
Mhm.
And as we all know, just in our own small elections here, and that's what I'm most concerned about, because 1 or 2 votes can really change. You know, we've had some coin flips, and we've had some 1 or 2s, and we've had some recounts, all that were triggered by the closeness of the count. So my initial intent when I came in was to ask you as commissioners to please reinstate using the drop box. At one time here in the past, not too distant past, there were concerns brought forth by other citizens in the community that felt like the drop boxes were possibly able to be manipulated or whatever. After doing a little bit of research and visiting with our election officer, I learned that it is actually the election officers themselves that get to make the decision on whether or not to use the drop box. So, and I believe that we probably will be using the drop box. Okay, thank you. I am asking you as commissioners and as the responsible parties to represent the county for your wholehearted support, and maybe even a motion would be great, to support our election officer in sustaining the use of the drop box. I really feel that while it's legal and it's handy to drive up to the box at the post office, if your ballot is not going to get where it needs to go, then we have another option that is legal. Absolutely legal.
Right.
It is absolutely safe. There are cameras around it. It is locked in place, and it's checked by the election officer on a regular day. That election officer, Ashley, is going to know if there's a regular habit of 5, 10, maybe even 15 ballots, whatever, on a daily basis, or 1 or 2. If all of a sudden there's 200 ballots in there, all you have to do is look at the camera. You know, it's going to show who is coming and how frequently cars come. So I think those concerns, aren't our decision to make. The drop box is legal in the state of Kansas, and we have every right to utilize it.
So to sum it up, you feel like a drop box with a set of cameras on it that's emptied by the election official each day is probably safer than anything that's gonna happen going through
I
the mail?
really do.
Yeah, that's the sum
I'm
of it.
not saying people steal from the post office. I'm saying the post office has a big problem somewhere up the hierarchy.
Right.
Benjamin Franklin, started the post office, and he started it. It was very small, and it was very exciting if you got a letter. And today, with all the shipping, the packaging, Amazon, all the stuff, the post office is still almost back in the Benjamin Franklin days. It's not funded properly, and it's not directed anyway, those are my personal opinions and don't matter.
Yeah.
But I would, and then second of all, I decided to see, I have a neurological disorder that affects that I cannot stand. I can walk, I walk a mile every day. I go to physical therapy as a result of core training, balance training, and strength training. I am able to function normally within some restrictions. I do not need to use the handicap parking and the handicapped entrances for convenience of walking, but many, many people do. And so the other day, I pulled up down here to our handicap parking space, which I might say is a half a block away. And I got out of my vehicle and I started counting my steps as I went around, and I came up the cut and I walked up the sidewalk. I came in the courthouse and I came into the clerk's office. It was 82 steps to deliver my ballot. I was winded by the time I got here, and I'm in really good shape. That hill, it's within legal guidelines, but it's a climb. It's a pull. Nobody should have to walk 82 steps if they're handicapped. We have parking up here. We don't have steps anymore. I'm assuming that's a legal slope. I would like to see you put in the cut into the sidewalk and put the door stuff in so people can come in. Up here. We have a lot of young people here, came back to raise their children, but we have a lot of people who are retirement age. We have a lot of people who have health issues, and I really think it's important. This is our center of government, and people need access to it, not just to vote, but they need it for their taxes. They need it for information.
So you wanna see, explain that again.
I would like to see us change the handicap from a half a block away. Because if you look at a map, it's a half a block from there to Ashley's office.
She wants to put the auto opening door on the front door.
And put a cut in the sidewalk or the curb. So this can, out here, can become our handicapped instead of half a block away.
Gotcha. The opening,
It may be too small for ADA,
yeah.
but I don't see why it can't be an option for those who might. I realize that the door is too small for a wheelchair,
Right.
but the door is not too small for a person. And if it's
Wide
not,
enough for a walker, because I come up.
a walker can come through it, yes. And if we don't cancel that one, there should be no problem. We offer 2 options to get into the building.
Okay. We can look into that.
And it doesn't even necessarily need to be called handicapped if that's not legal because of the dimensions. It's just an
Auto door.
auto door. There you go. Perfect. So anyway, but that is really all I have, but like I said, I would just like you to provide some public support to our election officer, and I would also like to see it maybe stated in public information that goes out with the election, that that option is there, and that it's safe.
Well, we just did renovations to the alley, so now we can go back and re-secure the,
Road and Bridge installed it on Friday,
okay,
or Thursday, sorry, Thursday.
okay, so
Okay.
you're getting your mailbox and,
You guys remember why that was taken out and when it was taken out?
2 years ago.
I believe there were questions about ballot harvesting, which in such a small setting as ours, I think would be, if it did occur, I think it would be very obviously noted. Small sites such as we have very well-established patterns that anything that pertained to stuffing, I think, would be quickly observed. And if I drove up in my car and dropped 50 ballots into that box, and she goes out the next morning and checks it, and there's 50 ballots, and there were none last night, the camera can be checked, and only one car came through, my tag gets looked, they call me, bring me in, oh, where'd you get 50 ballots? Problem solved.
I think if we got the ballot box being installed, and we will do work on seeing what we can get to have
And
an
it is
automatic.
state law that we have to do that?
It is not state law that we have to do it, it is state law that it is legal.
In our atmosphere that we have right now, there is a lot of mistrust.
Yes, there is.
And one of the reasons why is there's felt like in the past that there's things that have happened in our elections that
Well-
maybe made the elections not correct, okay?
I am not here to discuss a partisan issue.
I'm-
I am only here to discuss the fact that the United States Postal Service has an obvious, noted problem that is trying to be addressed at the federal level, and at this point, as of September 9th, have not been addressed. And I feel that when we have another, all I'm not saying that they can't go to the post office. I'm not saying they can't deliver it in here, that they have to use the drop box. I'm saying, just like I'm saying about the door, it's an option. We must give people options. And the drop box, we can go partisan if we want to, but that would be pointless. That is so far above our situation that providing what is legal is only makes sense. We elect the people that make those laws. And we have determined that they are qualified to make those laws that allow us to use a drop box if we so choose. We actually we can go to a drop box. We can come into Ashley's office. We can go to the mail. Or we can go to the BOCC building and vote. So we've got 4 options. But one of those options, we know from our elected officials, has a flaw.
Well, those commissioners took that box out for a reason. I'd like to know why they determined not to put it out 2 years ago.
They determined to take it out because a group of citizens came to this just as I'm coming to you, and they asked to have it out.
So
There was no thought, no discussion. It was, I think we should do that.
And at that time, this hadn't been brought to light either.
Yes.
This
None
is
of-
all new evidence here.
Thank you. Yes, it is. This has come to light with the primary. When you take the small, Kansas is a tiny state, voter-wise.
Sure.
And when you take out 1,000 votes, that can change the governor, that can change a senator, it can change a House representative. I mean, not just change a commissioner, change a sheriff, change a clerk, a register of deeds, no. It can change the whole thing. And so we know there's a problem here. When you have the National Association of Election Directors questioning the Postal Service, when you have your Secretaries of State's National Association questioning it, when you have letters being written with, I might say, copies to Moran, Marshall, Estes, Laturner, Tracy Mann, and Sharice Davids, they're not just playing. They're not just yanking something off the internet. They have unequivocal proof that there was a problem.
Well, what I'm
We do
thinking
not
is
have,
that,
we do not have unequivocal proof that Sherman County had a ballot stuffing problem. If we had unequivocal proof of that, I would not be here saying that. I'm with you 100% on fair, equal, and legal voting. But that's not the issue. That is not why I'm here. I'm here simply to point out this problem and make sure that the citizens in our community, and I don't think the lady that is 25 years old and is chasing a 3-year-old is necessarily going to use the drop box.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of people that need that assurance that their ballot's going to get counted, and it's very difficult to walk a half a block, and the post office may not deliver it. That's all I'm asking for. And I think to go into a partisan discussion of, I'm not sure how we got there, because I didn't come here as a partisan.
well, I'm not in that either, but what I'm saying is that we had a group evidently that is against us, and before we say we're gonna do this, I think that group should have an opportunity to speak as well.
Actually, you don't have any say.
No, actually, the election.
You
officer-
have zero
Oh,
say.
I-
It's Ashley.
I know, but you're asking for my support.
Oh, yes, I
Okay,
am.
so I'd like to know why that support was there to take it out before I say, oh yeah, this is great,
And
I can have my
and,
support.
and as Rod pointed out, that was before this. I'm quite certain, knowing the individuals who were on the commission at that time, would have weighed it. I don't know what
I
their
don't know.
outcome would have been, but I know they would have weighed it. There was very, very little discussion that day. It was,
That's a pretty compelling letter.
it's
Yeah,
a
this is a
huge,
big letter.
It's
Well,
a
and we
huge-
know the facts are, we've all sent stuff in the mail and, haven't received
yes,
Yeah.
And it seems to be getting worse and worse
Yeah.
by the day.
yes.
And I also feel sorry for the handicapped that can't get up and go in and vote. Like you said, it'd be nice to have an opportunity for them to vote and be able to drop it in. I see that as a positive as well, okay? But I also like to hear, even from that group who convinced the commissioners that that was not the good thing to do. I'd like to hear their opinion from that as well. Because we are, like I say, we're a
Having
community.
been a commissioner myself, sometimes when you're sitting in that seat and somebody comes in without providing you information ahead of time, and they present a very laid out argument, and you have nothing compelling on the other side, and no one comes forth on the other side to present a balanced view, not a partisan view, a balanced view. It's very easy to not think ahead and say, oh gosh, that does make sense. Let's give it a try. Okay, we tried it. Fine. Election went great. But how do we know that out of these 1,000 votes, that 59 of them didn't come from Sherman County? We don't.
We don't.
How do we know what happened?
Well, my opinion is, we know what we got there in that letter, and it's obviously been documented. It's been sent to the higher powers, well above our pay grade. Whether anything happens or not is out of our hands, other than some political pressure. The drop boxes are secured, as secure as they can be, and they're legal. The election officer decides to use those.
It's up to her.
That's up to her.
It's up to her.
And if she decides to use them, I'll back her play. But I want to make sure that it is indeed thoroughly covered with the camera, so we're seeing what's going on back there, because it's out of sight, out of mind. But as long as the cameras are on it, it's right across from the sheriff's department, we need to verify that, and we should be good to go.
I think that's,
I'm not saying I don't have reservations either
I
way.
agree.
But
I'm
I'm
with you.
weighing it out, and I'm saying I know what I got contained in that letter. And no, I wouldn't feel good about putting my ballot in a mailbox.
yes.
I just wouldn't.
I'm
That's just me.
totally with you.
You know, you got 1,000 votes there. What if it
Say
affected
to
the county
Kansas
by
where
100 votes?
Population,
You know,
you know. you
That's
look at-
2%.
Yes.
yeah, it's a big number.
That's the thing that starts looking at it. A 2% is a huge number.
You know, some of those states, the senators get down to 0.5%.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, it's, the House is the same way. And so Kansas could have, I mean, we could flip the House or the Senate with
Right.
1,000 votes. So, well, I
Okay.
do thank you all very much
Thank
for
you
your
for coming.
time, and
Thank you for the information.
you're welcome. And you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
I need a copy of that letter.
Sure, I can have mine. Was in the newspaper.
Actually, do you
Oh, here.
count
This
how
one.
many ballots come in the drop box?
Burton, Blaine?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I should have handed this to you before I sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So what we have is quotes for the roof. As you see, first is the Roof Masters. And then the second one is Weathercraft Roofing. That is both complete removal and replacement of the roof over at the sheriff's office. The third one is a quote from Weathercraft Roofing for just a membrane replacement quote. So that way you guys kind of have different options to go with, and it's not just.
I guess just to brief you guys, okay, the engineers walk around. What it basically summarized, and we haven't gotten an official statement from him yet, but on that day, it shows that the jail is sound. It is a good structure. It's all concrete deck. Some of it was poured in place, some of it was pre-stressed slabs installed in the beams. Which then comes back to this, is that we do not have to have a ballasted roof. We can have a membrane roof. Roof weight isn't a factor. The only problem with ballasted roofs, in my opinion, in my experience, is once they silt in, they don't drain as good as they do when they're brand new. They could take that roof rock off right now, wash it, clean it, put it back up on top of a new membrane and reuse it. It would be impervious to hail. That's one advantage, but the disadvantage is they silt in, they get dirty, they don't drain. So either way, I mean, we can go with a ballasted roof or a non-ballasted roof. The structure won't care. It's just about preference.
That's good to know, because that way, you know, we know that it will support whatever.
Oh, it'll support a couple of elephants. I mean, that's not a problem up there,
Good to
but.
know.
No, it was a good report. I felt like it was a good report. Not that there's not issues, not that there needs to be some work done, but the bones of the building are there.
That's good to know,
So
though.
whatever needs to be done.
on these bids, this, one's, local, does that 10% fall into this bidding? Where the local, has a 10%.
That's
Is that
another
the way
thing that we
I'm
might
saying it
not
wrong?
need to discuss. Well, you guys, I'll be probably out of it by then, but there's never been like a dollar amount. You know, you could be talking $1 million or $5,000, you know, 10% is a big number. So, I mean, that's something I think,
But we're-
Brett, are you aware of contract, or not contracts, but resolutions for counties that would say anything over X amount, the 10% rule doesn't
Not
play?
off the top of my head, no.
Does it make sense what I'm saying?
It's just a courteous type,
Yeah.
just make sure.
You're trying to look out for local business,
Right, trying to be courteous.
but man, like I said, you're talking 10%, 100 grand, you know, $1 million, that's a lot, you know? And just like our kind of our bid fiasco out here with the alley, there was some stuff we didn't really
That's-
stipulate, and
Yeah.
you know, and that's what caused the local bidder to be out. So, to answer the question, I don't know. I mean, that's on a high dollar amount. That's a good question. But
But we do have Weathercraft having both low bids anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the decision
It's
is,
kind
would
of a
be, do we
non-issue.
want the,
Do we want the rock or not?
yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Is,
I think for less
Your
pooling and
preference?
drainage,
No preference?
if you want it to drain properly all the time, you would leave the rocks off there. But if you want hail protection, you put the rocks back up there.
I mean, the last leaks after they did the patch was caused by the way they controlled the rocks.
The pooling,
They
yeah.
left dams, basically. They moved them off where they patched and then didn't put them back. And it created a dam to hold the water where they patched. That created a lot more nuisance.
We used to have the same problem at the power plant, same deal.
Same.
Much bigger roof, but same problem. You know, everything got dirty and,
I think looking at both these quotes, I think the rocks are both being installed back.
On that one, it's not probably.
membrane one on
So
the,
move,
yeah, there was one that's just
move
membrane
them
only.
back, and then this one is to install the,
But that's,
that's Roof Masters.
huh?
That's Roof Masters,
Right.
secured by ballast rock. Move it back, secured by ballast rock.
I thought you got one that, got away from the membrane, did the slope.
well, if they're providing a 15-year warranty,
Cause this one it says sweep ballasted rock and remove membrane. So they're just pushing it back, install the new 60 mil membrane, move the ballasted rock back onto the membrane. Okay, and this one they're saying remove and haul off existing roof and membrane. 115. So, you know, it's either $88,000 or it's $115,000. And Roof Masters is out. Cause they're using the same 60 mil membrane.
well, apples to apples there, so
So it's rocks or no rocks?
that's a lot of money for
mean-
rocks.
Rocks lasted
Yeah, forever.
a lot of years.
Yeah.
And it did protect it pretty well, other than the exposed surfaces from the hail.
Yeah, where it's coming wrapped up over the they're coming up the parapet wall, you're gonna have to be exposed there.
If you didn't have that with that 2016, it probably been a huge loss.
Could have wiped it out.
It damaged, a lot of the leaks were right where the membrane curved up. That's where the hail hit. But yes, and right now the drainage is terrible. I have to make trenches. Whenever it rains, I go up there and take my hoe and
Yep,
drain it.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay, what are they saying? Move ballast rock back onto new membrane. Okay, now these guys are saying they're gonna haul it off. This one. Install new locale. Well, do you guys wanna wait till the next meeting to decide on this, or you wanna go up and look at it, so you get eyes on it?
You know, I can't climb a ladder, so
Okay.
I'm not gonna be able to go look at it, but I don't know. I know they put that, the same stuff out at the fairgrounds, and it's held up, so.
But that's not completely flat, right?
Right,
That's on, yeah, you got
there's some
slope.
slope to that, but, you know, if they're providing a 15-year warranty on this stuff,
That won't cover if it's damaged by hail.
right?
That's just for workmanship. And the one thing is with the membrane, it does deteriorate quicker.
Being exposed.
The vertical parts that are exposed, it's pretty brittle.
So your
It's not very brittle, but
your preference would go back with the rock?
I'm just doing arguments for both. It don't matter.
Well, see, my thinking is that where it comes off that wall, there's no rock there anywhere.
Right.
So you're not gaining, anything, protection where, you know, it cracks on that. You know, the hail is gonna be the hail, and
I mean, 2016, it would have destroyed it. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
but insurance would have hopefully covered it. I mean, no membrane is easier. Did someone go up do maintenance to sweep off debris or whatever? I mean,
Well, there's argument too about people stepping on
right.
the rocks.
You're stepping on the membrane, if you're up there a lot, that's why I tried never to go up there
Keep
if I
it,
had to.
Yeah,
Cause this type of roof, you're not supposed to be up there.
right.
Is it, will it matter insurance wise? Which roof we put on there?
you know, 'cause they're both the
I
60
don't
mil.
know. It's the same, they're looking at the membrane. I don't know if they're gonna consider that rock or not as protection.
You might call K-Camp, see if there's a difference in their insurance rate.
Just a thought there.
Did Weathercraft say how quickly they could
They could have all the materials here within a month and get started with it.
So, is there weather related? Do they need a certain temperature or?
No, they said they could do it whenever, so.
It's gotta be above a certain.
Well, it's gonna be cheaper if they keep the rock up there. So. I don't know. You wanna save the money, have them put the rock back on top of it. We know it works. It worked for a lot of years.
No.
So I would say, I'd say go back, my vote would be to go back with the rock. It's cheaper, cause it's cheaper. And it
Seemed
works.
to work.
That a motion?
I'll make a motion to go with the ballasted quote from Weathercraft.
Okay.
For $88,000,
$50?
yeah,
That's one what's out.
$88,050.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
That's without rock. The,
It's 110 for
It
the-
says move ballasted rock back onto new membrane.
Okay, so otherwise it's more expensive.
It's more expensive for them to take the rock off the roof.
Really?
Yeah. That's pretty good money, all from rock.
I thought I was reading backwards.
Well, that's the way I read it the first
all
time.
right, it's been moved and seconded. We go, with the Weathercraft bid for $88,050. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's passed. Question for you. I see we had a bill from a company. What kind of floor are you putting down in the gym?
It's the same flooring that schools put in. Because the schools like north and west, they walk in paths, and for the last 5 years, there's no paths. So I thought it was one of the most durable, best floors we've seen, so I went with that.
Is that the stuff that you can just pull up?
Yeah,
it's got
so
the squares.
it's carpet squares. I think it's
Yeah, I
2 foot
think,
by 2
And
foot.
that was the other thing,
Good-
they
good
can do a small
Samaritan.
area, move furniture.
The old Good Samaritan
Yeah,
put that
yeah,
in.
to take everything out.
And, that
Yeah.
way, if you
If you
have
go to north
something
and
happen.
west, they have not replaced any squares. They spilled grape juice, everything. There's no stains because they all come up. They have extra squares to put in, and the kids walk in paths every day, everywhere they go. And there's no paths. So I thought
Why not?
that'd be a good carpet. So I'm not a salesman for them, but I just did.
Okay.
Ask for your commission.
Yeah.
Right.
Alrighty.
Is there anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Then moved and seconded, we adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Meeting's adjourned.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Well, we made the motion to adjourn, but we can have another meeting right here. So we'll call it back to order. Connie,
I rescind the motion to adjourn.
okay, second?
I'll second.
All right, now, Ms. Connie, yes.
See, I've never done this before, so you have to forgive me. I live in Armstrong Nation, and we are having a real serious problem about speeders out there. From Highway 24 coming down to Caldwell and the 22nd Street. I went to the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department to see about maybe getting more speed limit signs and more surveillance of that area.
Okay.
Part of us are in the city and part of us aren't is a problem. Part of it's county and part of it's city.
Where is the dividing line, do you know?
It's the middle of the road on the 22nd or right. Am I right?
Yeah.
From Highway 24,
24, and then south is Caldwell.
okay,
And then 22nd is east, the first turn east.
okay,
And they have, Jenkins and Millers have paved that road east. So now it's not rough and the speeders are terrible.
okay,
And we have 6 new young children out there that are, some are school age. We have buses that are stopping, and it's not just the young people that are doing this. We have semis coming down there very fast. And once they get off Highway 24, they get to the interstate or the overpass, they think they have to be hitting 60, I think. So I'm just concerned, and so is a lot of the neighbors, and I said I'd come in and talk. See, I don't know the answer.
Is there any speed limit signs on 22nd Street?
No,
Okay, and is there no speed limit signs on
Caldwell.
Caldwell?
There's one when
Well,
you first come off at 24, there's one speed limit
Well,
sign.
We can, yeah,
A major issue is, I believe Armstrong's roads are owned by, Armstrong Edition. I think Larry Enfield's the one that maintains them. And-
Some of them do, yeah.
Yeah, so if we're being rough and stuff like that, would be his issue. But as far as the signs, I don't know if we could put signs there.
Brett, I guess we'll
Now
have to
that,
ask you to,
but the road south that goes over the overpass, that's,
Yeah, that one.
that can be-
That's Caldwell. That's Caldwell.
that's
Caldwell
called.
or 21, right?
Yeah.
20. That we need to post.
That's a county road.
Yeah.
From that,
okay,
because
so we'll get,
they, like I said, they hit that, I think they want to see how fast they can get by the time they get over the bridge.
They do, and
and then
actually
speed
one.
on the washboards is
Yeah,
better
Yeah.
than
and
going
that's what
slow.
causes the rush board, so.
Yeah,
Had a
and we
granddaughter
have
roll a
had,
vehicle out there, so yeah, I mean, it
and we
happens.
have had, years ago, young girls went over the overpass and
Yes.
hit that and
Yep.
rolled their car.
Yep.
The other day, I stopped to answer my phone before I went over the overpass, and a pickup came over there, and it was doing this, and I thought they were gonna get me.
I'll bet. Yeah.
And they went on by. They did come back and see if I needed help, which is nice of them, but I thought, oh my, you know.
Slow down.
But it is, the speed limit is not controlled. I mean, we just don't have anybody checking it, you know, and it's not just school time, you know, it's different times of the day, but when you go east on 22nd, and Rich Wiggins lives here, and there's a road here, and there's Evergreens, and we have people that live east of that. They come through there, and I'm just afraid there's going to be a bad one, because Evergreens are blocking that, and they don't slow up, they just see how fast they can get through there.
Okay.
We've lost several animals out there because of people driving too fast, and I just worry about it, so
So if those are private roads
the one,
in the Armstrong
yes,
Edition,
they are, yes.
then is there covenants out there that,
I don't believe there is.
See, I don't know.
I don't know if we can do this. Can we
Not on
recommend,
private roads, no.
can we recommend that they do put signs up if we provide the signs? Something like that?
that'd be
Like
a good
a
idea.
child's
Because
playing or
that's the
something.
problem is technically,
Yeah.
if you read by the letter of the law, it'd be 55 in that community, because it's not posted.
Holy cow.
And
So-
they're hitting over that, I
Yeah.
swear.
It needs
So,
to be like a school zone.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'd love to see
Well,
it
the
slow
school
out there.
bus stops, especially on that Hallwell Street, they stop out in the road and let the
Right.
kids out.
Yeah.
And I have a person that walks that road a lot and over the overpass,
Well, they
she
walk
had to
out
jump
there
the
a lot.
ditch one day.
So you're the chairman now of
No,
the,
I'm
of
not
the
really.
committee.
Not really. She
I
just
just,
trying to help.
I've probably been there the longest of anybody.
But,
Uh,
I'd love to see some speed limits if we could reduce it over the bridge.
Oh, yeah,
Because even on the other side, there's a family that lives there with small kids.
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
So-
Well,
And
Because
some
that there-
awareness, I don't think probably a lot of, you know, when they first turned off 24, they
They
don't
don't.
see that sign right away, and then they just hit it as hard as they can
Yeah.
to get over that
And we've been
overpass.
policing as much as we can, but
Yeah,
we may
It's
put our
hard, yeah.
trailer out there for a little bit to
yeah.
bring
Well,
awareness.
and even one of those signs that says how fast you're going.
That's
That's
what
the
I,
yeah,
trailer.
we're
yeah.
talking, my speed
Because
trailer
I don't
would do
think
that.
people are thinking about it,
Yeah.
and I really am concerned.
So,
I'd say if there's a method legally to slow them down, I'd say we do it.
I mean, honestly, if we provide the signs, maybe,
Yeah.
if you guys talk to the,
Bridge.
is Larry in charge of that, or do you know? He was last time. They
I'll
switched back and
get,
forth.
I'll get ahold of Mr. Enfield and ask him if we have
Because it-
permission to.
I mean, the county provide the signs, and if they just do 30 mile an hour on, it'd be 1, 2, 3 signs to cover everything.
Yeah.
As they come in
Well, at least make them
Yeah.
aware of it, you know, and
for,
if a few people probably were ticketed, it might make people realize
Yeah.
that that's not a
and
speed
that's the problem,
trap.
is we can't
I know, you
technically
can't over
ticket
there,
in there because it
Yeah.
is private property.
but that you
but-
can on Caldwell,
Yeah, on Caldwell. we
Yeah.
can, so.
and that's really a fast area. I mean, if you just come out there and set for an hour or
Yeah.
30 minutes, you'll see what I'm
Oh, yeah.
talking about. I'm not making it up, you know,
No,
it's
no,
just.
no, we've seen it, we've ticketed it,
It's-
so.
In fact, I told the patrolman that bought their house, I said, please park your car out here, so
Yeah.
people tell.
And when,
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
I
I will
just-
get ahold of Mr. Enfield, see if we have permission to put signs up. And then, if we do, I can get ahold of Mr. Broder.
and keep in mind, technically, we can't police it,
yeah,
because it's private property.
Right.
But we patrol out there all the time, but.
At least there's some suggestion to
Yeah.
watch your speed.
I mean, I can stand out, you know, in the yard and they'll come by me and I'll say, you know, slow down, and they just, they don't have respect, I guess, for the neighborhood.
Lot
And
of
I
problems
understand,
like
yeah.
that.
But those on the north side, on 22nd, they were all in the city. You know,
I'm glad you came, I didn't know.
well, I
Okay,
didn't know, I've never done this, so sorry.
thank you for bringing it up.
Okay, thank
You got
you.
it. You bet.
Okay, now,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
we move to the second.
Oh, I have to rescind the motion.
The rescinder?
Rescinder and then
Okay.
make a motion.
All
to
in favor,
adjourn.
say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.